What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 4, Abominations. This was a very interesting episode because it kind of comes out of nowhere, just a little bit. Just because of, I appreciate the fact that they're kind of discovering the team without Rip Hunter. They're really delving into the characters a lot more. And so I kind of expected us to get more character development in these episodes, but I didn't expect them to go this route. To go to Civil War times with slavery and all of this stuff, and you've got Jefferson going through all of this and experiencing it firsthand. And ultimately, I think, comes out a different person because of it. It's a well done episode. I wasn't expecting it, and I'm still kind of like I'm a little bit surprised about how well they handled it, I think. Because the rest of it, you've got zombies in this one. So it's kind of like the serious moments are not fitting in as well with the rest of the episode, because the rest of it's just like, oh yeah, zombies in the Civil War, of course. So while all of that stuff with slavery, with Jefferson experiencing it, with just watching him sort of realize that even though these people were being treated terribly, even though they were being treated worse than animals, the fact that they still had hope kind of inspires him, and I think is ultimately going to change him into seeing that he, becoming a stronger person inside, not just on the outside. So I think that's very well done. It's in an episode with zombies. It doesn't fit as well. If they, I wish they had done this on an episode where it's a time pirate who goes back and is doing something else to the timeline. Maybe trying to change it to where trying to kind of pull a timeless. If you've seen that show on NBC, kind of going back in time to change it to where the South wins the war. That type of thing, like actually trying to change it instead of just, oh yeah, this one time pirate gets stuck there and he's spreading a disease that creates zombies in the Civil War. Serious stuff, not serious stuff. Doesn't fit well together. You can see the clear contrast in this episode whenever all of that's going on. If honestly, that is probably I got two complaints. That one, and then some of the CG in this one was really, really bad. Like, whenever Mick smashed the head of that one zombie, it was like a very cheap blood effect. And it was just like a little line of blood, and that was it. I'm just like, I know we're not The Walking Dead here, but that was really, really like, oh. I've seen that blood effect before, like watching the Nostalgia Critic on YouTube. I've seen that blood effect before. So the CG in this one it's like they're trying to save money on the CG effects, so they're trying not to do these big, awesome effects right now. It's like they're trying to save it for, I guess, later on in the season. So I'm hoping that all of these, steal in some of the episodes. There was one, the episode where the guy had the serum and turned into like Hulk, pretty much. That CG effect was really crappy looking. I'm hoping all of these crappy looking CG effects are because they're saving money for an even better CG effect later on in the season. I hope that happens. If not, I'll be really disappointed with the season overall. But I mean, right now, it's just a minor problem. It's a problem that just whenever I see it, it kind of clicks in my mind like, oh, well, that's not good, But the rest of the episode is well done. I mean, the fight scenes are still well done. It's just those little moments kind of stand out in the midst of all of that stuff. And then I guess one other thing that I'm kind of indifferent about is whenever, what's her face? I can't remember Vixen's actual name, but she shows up to save Jefferson, and she's convincing these slaves to follow her. One of the women there sees her amulet and just like recognizes it, like, oh yeah, my mother was a part of that village. Like, little coincidental, but I'll let it slide. That I guess just needed a reason for them to instantly trust her, so that was their reasoning. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just something that I felt very indifferent about. But going back to my first problem, like I said, both parts of this episode, the zombie stuff was really funny, sometimes a little bit creepy, really well done in my opinion. And then the serious stuff with the slaves and Jefferson experiencing it and finding out about the hope in these people, that was really well done. But trying to put it together in one episode, it didn't mesh. It didn't feel like they fit well together. And it really kind of distracted from the episode as a whole. And like I said, that is pretty much the main problem for this. I thought this could have, if you take this episode apart, if you have an episode solely about zombies, and they go back and they have to face zombies, we see Martin is terrified of zombies, that's funny to see, Mick turning into a zombie and like talking to Ray like, don't let me turn into a zombie. That stuff is really funny. That episode by itself would be great. It would be hysterical. You take this episode about the Civil War, you put a different villain in there in the mix. You don't have zombies back there, you have something more serious as far as the villain goes. You put that, you have Jefferson experiencing all this stuff. That episode is really good. So it's like they took two episodes, meshed them together, and they're two concepts that just don't fit well together. So I hate to say this about this episode because I wanted to enjoy this episode. I wanted to be like, man, that slavery stuff was really powerful. I mean, this when one guy started singing, they all joined in and started singing together. I almost started tearing up. I was like, this. I've seen this before, but seeing it in this setting with Jefferson in the mix just kind of makes it more emotional because I've connected with his character already. So it was very well done. Whenever I'm seeing the zombie stuff, I start laughing because it's hysterical, and I feel bad because I'm laughing in the midst of all of this serious slavery stuff. What is going on? So I really want to enjoy this episode, but I can't look past the fact that they really put two concepts together that should not have been put together. And ultimately, if they had gone for a more serious zombie episode, because like the title of the episode is Abominations, and you could say, oh, are they talking about the zombies, or are they saying it from the slave owner's point of view, talking about their slaves? They could have made that parallel, but they didn't even do that. So that would be the only connection I could see, and they never made that connection. I don't understand why they would do this. Why they would put this episode like this. I don't know. I'm slightly disappointed. I feel like they have a good idea. There's still a lot of good stuff in it. You still got a really great cast. You still got good action scenes. You still got some fun stuff every now and then. And ultimately, you've got a good message in all of it. So it's still good. It's just it could have been great. It could have these two episodes, if you separate them apart, could have been great episodes. You got a great comedy episode. You got a great serious episode. So that's pretty much what I think about this episode on a whole. A couple of moments I do want to point out, though. One, I love the fact that Sarah gets to talk to Ulysses S. Grant and kind of gets a bit of advice from him about being a leader, being the captain of the ship. I really like that. I like what he told her about if you believe in the cause, if you believe in the people that are fighting for your cause, that's what can make you a great leader. So I like the fact that she got some leadership advice from him, because honestly, I agree that Sarah is probably the best one of all the team suited to be a leader, and I'm glad she is. So I'm excited to see where they're going with her story, making her more of a leader, and she really is growing as a leader too, so I like that. And then the other thing to talk about is Ray Palmer. Like I said in the last episode, destroying the suit. I wondered if they were kind of going to go the Tony Stark, oh, it's not the suit that's Iron Man, I am Iron Man type thing. With Ray Palmer, like, it's not your suit, it's you. They haven't gone that route yet, but what they did do is, after everything that happened with Mick, you could see Mick really trusts Ray now. Like, even though he still makes fun of him from time to time, hey, haircut. I love that. But at the end of this, he's just like, I hope I'm not doing something I regret. And then hands him the freeze gun. I'm like, Is Ray Palmer about to become Captain Cold right now? That it's awesome. And I know a lot of the DC like purists, the ones that know these characters and will say that oh that he's not Captain Cold, Ray Palmer's not supposed to be Captain Cold, blah blah blah. All that stuff. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people that has read the comics, and so I'm not going to be able to be like, oh yeah, that's not how the comic goes at all. But I don't know. It just, for me, seeing Ray and Mick work together, like obviously Mick and Leonard Snart working together, they are a perfect team. You know, they work well together. You've got the brains and you've got the brawn. In the same situation, you've got the brains and the brawn, except Ray is also, he's not really a thief. He's not a villain. So it's going to be interesting to see them working together, seeing how well they could work together, if at all. So, I don't know, I like this partnership. I like what they're doing with them because they really are kind of, they are setting up this partnership. They started setting it up at the beginning of the season, just kind of the interaction and the chemistry that they have. It's interesting, and I really like where they're going with it, so it's nice to see that Ray is not going to be the whole, oh, I'm just going to be, you know, I'm going to go build myself another suit because I am the Atom. It's not the suit at all, it's me. I like the fact that they're kind of giving him another role completely by giving him the freeze gun, so now he's Captain Cold. It's very interesting, and I'm excited to see where they're going to go with it. I just want to see more of Mick and Ray interacting because it's just so funny to see Mick, the hardened criminal, and Ray, the Boy Scout, just constantly bashing heads because they don't see eye to eye ever. So I don't know, that part easily for me, I had my problems with it, but that final scene with them just really made this episode so much fun for me, and cannot wait to see more of that. So those are my thoughts on this episode. Hopefully next week we'll see a bit more of what happens with the timeline, because like I said last week, after what they did back in the Shogun times, we didn't see the consequences of that. We still haven't. And then in this one, you know, not nearly as an important person killed, but yet they released all these slaves and this farmhouse got destroyed. I want to see the consequences of that. You know, what if this is a distant relative of one of the members of the team? You know, stuff like that. I want to explore a bit more. I want them to focus on, okay, we managed to save the overall timeline. You know, the Civil War still was won by the Union, which means we still remain the United States of America. But what happened with this one farmhouse? Did that change anything important to our characters or in general? Was that important at all? I want to see stuff like that. I want to see how it affects the timeline overall. It would just be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. So hopefully we focus on that a bit more in the next episode. It's not so like, oh, timeline, who cares? Let's just kill these people in this time. Which, you know, that is kind of something that without Rip Hunter as the captain, the team has started killing people in the timeline. Rip Hunter would not be okay with that if he were still here. So just another example of why this team needs Rip Hunter as the captain, because he's still the best captain that they've got. Even though Sarah's getting better, he's still better than her. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We can talk about, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Legends of Tomorrow reviews. I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.